Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for joining me today. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Today I'm going to talk about traveling and about going to a coin show in the Salt Lake City area in Sandy, Utah. The local coin show put on by Bob Campbell, also by Nuts, Northern Utah Token Society. Wait, National Utah Token Society. Well, don't look at me. I'm not nuts. They are. Okay, but obviously one of my absolutely favorite acronyms in the coin industry. Well done, folks. It was wonderful to meet you all and have a good time there. One of the things that I've learned through this channel is that you guys are mostly all just like me, which is to say we love coins and tokens and paper money and history, and we love to travel and we love food. And most of us, we actually kind of like each other, you know. And so one of the things I want to talk about really quick is what really made this show special for me was the ability to travel and make this into a little bit of a road trip with my buddy Jamie, who works with me. He collects bottles and insulators. So the idea behind going to the show originally was Jamie said, hey, there's this coin show. It's a 2-day show, and it has a bottle show on Saturday. And do you want to go? And I was like, okay. And he says, hey, have you been to Bryce Canyon? And I said, well, no, I've not been to Bryce Canyon. And so he's like, okay. So we figured out how to make this into a road trip where we got to go see Bryce Canyon. And then I picked something I wanted to do, which was go to High West Distillery in Park City, actually in Wanship, and we did that. So first of all, Bryce Canyon, for those of you who have not been there, is a stunning thing. Utah in general is a beautiful, beautiful state. Most of the people in most of the large population of Utah is in that northern Utah area near Salt Lake City, where you've got about a 100-mile area that has close to 3 million people in it, and it's most of the population. But Utah is just, to me, very beautiful. If you've never been, it's worth going. Utah has the third most national parks in the country, right behind California and Alaska. It has 5 national parks, and Bryce Canyon is one of them. Bryce Canyon is, you drive up to the top. There's 2 things you have to see, but if you've got the time, go and see everything. You drive up to the top at over 9,000 feet. There's a beautiful lookout. You can see over the entire valley. And then about halfway back down, as you go back down the mountain, there's pullouts. There's like 12 of them that you pull out, and you have different views. You can see a beautiful window. You get to see Thor's hammer. There's all kinds of cool stuff. But about halfway down, you get to Inspiration Point, which is a little trickier because from the parking lot, you've got a good 1/4 mile plus very sharp incline to climb up to see it. And there's that. So also, we got to go see the distillery. I'm probably going to make a completely different channel. In fact, I'm going to make a video just about the distillery tour because I had so much fun on it, and talk about that. But we'll see what happens there as far as another channel or this channel. I don't really want to do things outside of coins, I think, on this channel. And I've got a lot of other things that I want to talk about, just like you guys do, when we meet, when we talk about history or whatever else, travel, things that we have in common. All right, the Utah show. So with gold and silver still at all-time highs, there's plenty of activity around that and talk around that. But of course, the gold and silver market are way down as far as demand goes and way up as far as price goes. This is much akin to the market before COVID. We're seeing dealers start to sell to other dealers below melt on lots of different products. We're selling our 90% at melt, and we're selling our 1 ounce silver rounds at $1 over. And so for some reason, I felt like taking my 5 kilogram Noah's Ark coin that I got in the store to Utah with me, because, you know, why not? So I took a couple boxes of coins, and I tried to go and buy some stuff and sell some stuff, and it had decent success. The show, if you've been to the Tucson show or Denver or Vegas, the show was, let me say, maybe 2/3 the size of like a Denver, but Denver's pretty big, like the Vegas show, 2/3 the size of the Tucson show, something like that. There was a noticeable lack of better type coins there. If you wanted certified Morgans, all day long you could probably find what's on your want list. If you were looking for better type coins, which I was for some customers, it was very difficult to buy. Just because there wasn't a lot there. There was a couple of dealers that had some pretty good inventory, and after that, it was, you know, a lot of stuff that's you see at a lot of shows. So it was almost like you had a local club show only on steroids. So it's a good size show. As far as the bottle show goes, Jamie had said that the bottle show was for him a little bit slower than he'd like, but the locals said that it's kind of a typical for the bottle show there. I think you get a lot of people that set up and they have a lot of the same inventory and they end up trading to themselves, which is what people complain about when you go to a coin show. Oh, it's all dealer to dealer. Well, kind of. I mean, but at the end of the day, we're not all just trading amongst ourselves. We're still trying to find coins for our customers. So it's a big environment, the coin market. And so we had a nice time. I got to meet a whole bunch of you. Thanks for coming by and saying hi. Andy, Ty, Brian, Dan, Danny, Kevin, Jeff, Ken, Bob. There's a lot of you guys. Everyone, I'm sorry if I missed you or missed your name there. But it was a good time, and it was good to meet so many different people. The 5 kilo, what was I able to do with the 5 kilo? Well, eventually I found someone who would trade me 160 ounces of silver for it, which works better for me because I can simply use that in the store. 5 kilos is about 160 ounces of silver, so it is a pretty big chunk. Not a lot of people want like a single $5,000 or $6,000 coin, but it's a neat piece. I thought it was a pretty neat piece. One of the things that was interesting about Utah, of course, is that the laws are very different there. Utah and Louisiana are the two states that were really, to me, very unique in the way that they were founded, because Louisiana and Utah are the two places that were founded by different religions, right? One the Mormons and one the French. So you have very different laws in both the states. Because of the distillery tour, I learned that Brigham Young actually had several distilleries, and he shut down all the other ones. Sorry, I'm getting choked up because I'm laughing to myself. The history is fascinating. The other thing that I found out is the liquor laws there are very strict, but they were even more strict until a certain coin came out. 2002, Salt Lake City hosted the Olympics. We got a coin out of that, right? It used to be if you wanted to go to a bar, you had to be a member of the bar to go there. And if you were a guest from out of town, like this guy was, I would have had to have someone represent me, like recommend me and be my sponsor to get in and go drink. Now, today, you can drink if you're from out of town, but they're looking at having the 2028 Winter Olympics there again, and we'll see if they can loosen up the reins even more between now and then. I think that's kind of on the goal for some of the people that live there. So fascinating bit of history related somewhat to a coin and just to life and the entire state of Utah. I also got to hear and see the story of someone who was able to actually dig up from metal detecting an 1866 S $20 gold piece. If I can get more photos and videos and make an actual video about this, I will. This particular coin is a very scarce date for a $20 gold piece. It's the type of thing that 20s, not many people collect them by date and mint mark, but most of the better dates, if you can get them into uncirculated grades, are very, very scarce. You can see kind of how the 1866S in the red book, you can't see it, I'm not going to hold it up, but into uncirculated grades is insanely expensive. So the photos of this coin when it came out of the dirt was just dirty, and it's unbelievable that this coin ended up getting into a Mint State 62 holder, and it's a lovely, lovely, lovely coin. For those of you who don't know exactly what Utah is or where it is, so the states in the Southwest, because if you're like from Vermont and you don't know what like New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado, I get that, right? Because I don't know what that other state is next to you, Vermont, that looks like you. I just don't even understand, right? So basically, if you just fold up a piece of paper, there's actually an area called the Four Corners where these states meet. So all you really have to do at the end of the day is fold them together, and then you'll find out, that's still upside down, no matter how many times I practice. So I'm here in Arizona. Utah, where all the people live in Utah, is way up in this area. But this entire area is like fields and mountains and beautiful. If you've been to the western part of Colorado, you've probably seen a little bit what Utah looks like. Most of it's not desert. The southern portion, you have some desert, but most all of this is like hills and valleys. When I got there, I was surprised to see there was snow on the mountains, even though it was 90 degrees in the valley. And it's well worth the drive. We went the back roads after Bryce to go up. We went through a town called Antimony or Antimony. I can't name any of the cities there properly. They all have a pronunciation apparently that is pronounced funny. And so, but just beautiful. You could drive for miles without seeing another person. It was fantastic. So the road trip was definitely well worth it. I hope to go again next summer and maybe instead of Bryce Canyon, hit Zion or one of the other parks, or even one of the local parks instead of a national park. I'm sure they're all absolutely beautiful. I will have new purchase videos for you guys, and be on the lookout for that new channel I'm going to do. I'd like your support in that. I don't think I'm going to put travel and other antiques and food and bourbon on this channel just to not clutter it up. But I'd love your support in looking for my other channel when that comes out. It'll probably just be a video once every 2-3 weeks. It won't be like here where it's daily. And as always, thanks for everyone who came up and said hi at the show. The Utah Coin Show was a good time. I will have new purchases coming up in a day or two for you on this channel. All right, guys, thanks so much for being here. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl in the button and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.